So, today we're going to dive into a pretty bold and honestly unconventional blueprint for the future of Bangladesh. It's a plan so ambitious, it's called the Architects of Tomorrow.
It all kicks off with this really powerful idea from the author, Brigadier Hossain. Basically, he's saying that sometimes a nation's problems are so big that you can't just tweak things here and there. Nope, you need a complete, fundamental rethink. And that's exactly what this is all about.
All right, so first up, let's talk about this idea of a nation at a crossroads. The book makes the case that Bangladesh is at this super critical turning point, facing some huge challenges, but also holding incredible potential.
And this isn't just a critique of the present. The whole philosophy is right there in the title, a revolution for the rejuvenation of Bangladesh. Think of it less as a complaint and more as a practical, strategic roadmap for building a totally new future.
The plan doesn't shy away from the tough stuff. It tackles the big three head-on: poverty, corruption, and social injustice. But here's the kicker. The goal isn't just to fix what's broken. It's to aim high, to transform the nation into a global leader, on the same level as places like Japan, Finland, or Singapore. It's a huge ambition.
So the big question is, who could possibly lead a transformation this massive? Well, the book points to a very, very specific group it calls the New Architects.
And that's really the million-dollar question for this whole proposal, isn't it? Who has that unique mix of discipline, patriotism, and leadership that you'd need to pull something like this off?
And the answer? Well, it might surprise you. Retired military officers. The plan sees this group as a powerful, totally untapped resource, basically ready and waiting to be deployed for national development.
Now, this isn't just some vague concept. It's a concrete plan with a name: the Armed Forces Entrepreneurship Initiative. The idea is to channel all that skill and discipline into the SME sector, the small and medium-sized businesses that are really the engine of any modern economy.
And they've set a very clear target: create 300 new industrial entrepreneurs. This whole idea is inspired by real-life success stories, like Brigadier General Amzad Hossain, who's the genius behind the massive PRAN RFL group.
Okay, so that's the who, but what about the how? How does this actually work? Let's break down the four-phase blueprint.
It's all laid out as a four-step journey. First, you've got preparation and structuring. Then, intensive business training. After that, financing and mentorship. And finally, you wrap up with monitoring and expansion. It's a complete roadmap from just an idea all the way to real-world impact.
So, phase one is all about laying the groundwork. You can't build a house without a solid foundation, right? This means creating a national policy and setting up a central hub to run the whole show, which they call the Veteran Entrepreneurship Support Center, or VESC for short.
Then comes phase two, and this is basically the training montage part of the plan. It's all about education. They've designed a custom curriculum to translate military skills into business smarts. We're talking everything from financial management and market analysis to how to apply military-style risk management in a business context. Super interesting.
And this is where things get really serious. In phase 3, each officer selected for the program gets 1 crore taka in startup capital. That is a significant chunk of change. And get this, it's collateral-free. That gives these new businesses a real fighting chance to succeed right out of the gate.
But it's not just about handing over a check and saying, good luck. Phase 3 provides an entire ecosystem of support. There's a dedicated startup fund, tax breaks, access to investors, and maybe most importantly, business incubation centers and intensive one-on-one mentoring from people who've already made it in the industry.
And finally, phase 4 is all about the long game. It's about monitoring performance, seeing what works, and then scaling up the model. The idea is to expand it to other regions, and hey, maybe even to other groups of retired professionals down the line. Okay, so we've seen the plan. But how does a program focused on veterans actually spark prosperity for an entire nation? Let's connect those dots.
This is where the logic of the plan really clicks into place. Military experience is, in many ways, the perfect training ground for entrepreneurship. The discipline you learn translates directly to project management. Strategic planning becomes market analysis, and leadership and risk assessment, those are absolutely crucial skills in any business.
So when you boil it all down, the bottom line is this. The ultimate goal is to take this highly skilled, highly disciplined group, give them the right training and support, and turn them into a powerful new engine for Bangladesh's economy, creating jobs and driving innovation across the country.
And that leaves us with one big final question to think about. Can a focused investment in just one group of people really spark a transformation for an entire nation? This blueprint is betting that it can. It's a really bold vision, but is it a realistic one? What do you think?